This is the best and most up-to-date guide on how to install OpenClaw within 10 minutes while fixing all of the most common issues that people are encountering with OpenClaw, especially on a virtual private server. We're going to go through everything, and at the end of this video, you're going to have an OpenClaw that runs for you 24/7 to do your bidding. Let's jump into it. So now the first thing you're going to do is click the first link in the description below to go to this page where you're going to be able to install OpenClaw on a virtual private server. Now, if you've done this before, then you don't have to do this again. Just follow along with the video. Now, for me, this is the best way out there because it's the most simple way to have most flexibility with OpenClaw while not being limited to a terminal. I'm going to show you how. The first thing you're going to do is click on deploy. And now once you're here, I want you to basically select the plan that you want to go for. If you only want to play around with this, I recommend going for 1 month, but I would recommend going for either 12 or 24 months on the KVM2 plan to start out with. You can always upgrade later. Now, here you're going to get some options to basically use Nexus AI credits. I recommend removing this so that you don't have to use their API or their cost. This is going to save you money because their way of doing this is more expensive than it has to be. And once you're here, you want to choose the server that is the best latency for you, that has basically the fastest way for you to communicate with your server, basically. And once done, you can basically click on continue and go to the payment screen. Now, the 24 months is going to give you the biggest discount. You should also be getting a pretty good discount with my link in the description below. Now, if you don't feel like supporting the channel, you can just go to Hostinger and set this up yourself, of course. And yeah, once this is done, let's jump into how to set up your server right now. So I bought a server just a while back. I already have an OpenClaw set up, but I want to buy this so that I can show you firsthand how to do this, right? So I'm going to select France as my server, and I'm going to select Ubuntu here when choosing the operating system. I'm going to choose Ubuntu 24.04. And once done here, and now once you're in this screen, you want to create a root password. Now, we're not really going to use this too much, but it's always good to do. So I'm going to write my password here. Cool. And we click on next. We don't really need an SSH key for this process that we're going to do. So we're just going to skip this. Now, I want to skip the malware scanner, and I'm just going to get the Docker manager installed on our VPS. Now, if your VPS settings or setup screen looks a little bit different, it should not be a problem because you can basically just follow along whatever I'm doing right here. All right, so now we just wait until everything is installed, and we'll go over how to install your OpenClaw and also sort out all the issues that a lot of people are having so that you don't have to. And there's no video out there except this one going over exactly how to fix this, so stick around. Now is a good time to plug my school group where you can join right now for free before this becomes a paid community. I'm going to be posting guides and everything how to make money using OpenClaw and other sorts of AI functions. On top of that, you can also join our Facebook group where we're going to basically be posting guides and everything that comes with it, and where you can stay up to date with everything that's happening in regards to OpenClaw. All right, so now our VPS is set up, and we can basically go to our VPS dashboard, and here we'll find all of our details. Now, this is not important right now. We want to go to Docker Manager, we want to go to Catalog, and we're going to search for OpenClaw, and we're going to click on deploy. And here we're going to be shown a bunch of information. Before we do anything here, I want you to go to OpenClaw Gateway Token, and we're going to unhide this and copy and paste this to a secure place on your computer. So I just copied it. I'm going to take it. I'm just going to paste it into my notes. All right, so now that we have that saved, we basically want to enter one of these AIs. So one thing that a lot of people do is they enter the API key for a lot of different models. For now, I think you should just go for Anthropic API, and this is going to make the process significantly simpler than any other process. So to get your API key, you're going to go to platform.claude.com and basically log in and set up your account. Now, first things first, you're probably going to want to set up your billing account. I'm not going to show you how to do that. You just enter your information. And once that's done, go down to API keys and click on create key. I'm going to name this one a new video so I know whatever it is. And there we go. So now you have your API key. You're just going to copy that over and go to your configuration, and now click on Anthropic API key and paste that right there. And before you move on, please make sure that you saved your gateway token. Now that it's done, click on deploy. Awesome. So now it's going to take a little while, and then it's going to basically populate your catalog or deploy this OpenClaw session to your VPS. All right, so now our OpenClaw instance or deployment is active, and we can now go into our session. So we're going to click on this link, and we're going to basically now paste our session token or gateway token, and click on log in. And there we go. We're now inside of OpenClaw. And the first things we are going to see is that we have a lot of things on the side here. Now, Hostinger's way of doing this before wasn't really optimal, but it worked if you knew how to operate it. But I'm going to show you basically now how to connect this to your Telegram, which is for me the best way possible. But if you want to connect it to Slack or WhatsApp, all you have to do is ask it how to do that, and it will tell you exactly how to install those things. Now, for me, Telegram has always just been the best way to do this. So let's connect to Telegram. All right, so now we're going to get the instructions for how to install this and open our Telegram. Now, keep in mind, sometimes this is going to break, and I'm going to show you exactly what to do if this process breaks while it's going through all of this. So what I want you to do is go into Telegram and then search for bot fodder. And what you're going to do is click on start, and you're going to click on new bot, /new bot, and we're going to choose a name, which is OpenClaw guide, and we're going to do OpenClaw guide _ bot. And we're now going to copy this token here, which is going to be used to basically connect to our bot. So we can paste that into our chat right here. Now, sometimes it will break at this moment, and I'm going to show you what happens. If it's not working, we're just going to go over that. All right, so it seemed like that worked out. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go into our Telegram, and we're going to go and check out and talk to our OpenClaw bot. We're going to click on start, and we're going to get a pairing code right here. We're going to send that back to our OpenClaw. And what's going to happen now is they're going to pair together. So now they can communicate together through the virtual private server or in the chat right here. All right, now it says that it is connected. So let's try this connection and just say hello. And if it starts typing, it should be connected, but it's not. So our first issue, right? So if this happens, we need to tell it, as you can see, it says it's not sure what this means. And this means that, well, it doesn't understand that's the pairing code. This is the pairing code for Telegram. And we paste that again. All right, so now it's telling us to actually send this there, but it's not authorized to use this command. And we should basically just tell it, hey, this is for you to use to pair to Telegram. And actually, the reason why this is happening is most likely because by default, the dashboard here is using Claude 4.5 Sonnet instead of actually using Claude Opus. Claude Opus would always realize that this is the issue and it would need to do this, right? So actually, the bot didn't really realize that it is the bot, right? So that's what the level we're at here right now. All right, so if it's continuously going around in a loop and not letting you connect, you need to tell it, I need you to add to config and pair it to my Telegram. I can't do more, and then give you the pairing code to look into your documentation. So you want to have it look into documentation and go through whatever it needs to do to actually understand this command. All right, so now we can see that it's actually understanding. It needs to approve the pairing request using the CLI. And done. Now it has been connected. So let's try this again. Hello. And now we can see it's typing and it's working. Great. We now figured out what the problem was. So sometimes you see it's never going to do the same things over and over again. Sometimes it's going to have an issue here or an issue there. Now there is also one more issue that is very common amongst people that try to install OpenClaw. And we're going to go over how you can fix this very, very easily. All right. So the first thing we're going to do whenever we need to fix something, whenever something breaks with OpenClaw, this is the process that you're going to go through and do this over and over and over again. And basically the first thing, we're just going to go into projects and then we're going to check our projects here. We're going to go into manage. And once here, we can click on logs and we can actually see what is happening inside of our OpenClaw. Now, first things first, we're going to basically go into terminal here and it's going to open a terminal window, which is going to let us actually communicate like a normal terminal with our Claude. All right, so now inside of your terminal, you're going to paste this command right here, but you are going to replace this part right here, which says OpenClaw VD9A OpenClaw 1. You're going to replace that with whatever your project is saying right here. So it basically references your deployment. And once that's done, you can basically send that into the terminal. And now it's going to run the doctor and basically go through and see whatever is happening inside of your OpenClaw that is wrong, right? And as we can see, the doctor is now complete. All right, so now that the doctor is ready, we're going to now take this command right here and we're going to replace it with the first part of your project right here. So this part right here, we're going to replace that in our command right here. Now, if you want these commands, just click the link in the description below and you'll basically get a document with all of these commands. Now, send that in and it's going to restart our deployment of our OpenClaw. All right, so now that our OpenClaw is restarted, we are going to enter our little dashboard here. And I hope you saved your gateway token, enter that and click on log in. And now you can see we're finally back inside and this should have fixed any sort of issue you had with the gateway timing out or any issue you had before where you couldn't talk to your bot. Now, there's one more thing that might be holding you back from actually using it, and that could be a rate limit. So if we look inside of the development platform, you can see that there are a rate limit connected to your Claude, especially if you have never used it before. So the main thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you add enough money to your Claude so that any sort of request that you're doing through OpenClaw actually gets through. And once you add more to your limit, you are going to get an increased monthly limit, basically. And that's it. Now you have an OpenClaw that is running for you 24/7 that you can communicate with on Telegram. Now, if you want to have more guides on OpenClaw, how to make money using OpenClaw, how to set up the most optimal structure, how to start sub-agents, how to create your empire using OpenClaw, I will be posting a ton of new videos where you can basically take part and get all of this information for free. Now, if you want some more advanced methods, you can check out my school or the Facebook group, which I will be linking down below. Now, if you want the commands for everything inside of this video, just check out the description and you'll find that there. And if you have any more questions, just let me know and I'll be happy to help you out and create a new video with your specific situation so that everybody can start using OpenClaw and use the power behind autonomous agents. And that's everything for this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.